Hi everyone, this is just a quick explanation of the artistic drawing I would like for you to do over the weekend. That will be due on Tuesday when you come into class. So if you look on our Canvas page, I'm here and I'm at Module 2, and you click on our essential outcome checkpoints. Remember, there are two, and this is also on your checklist. One of them was an artistic assessment. So today in class, we covered the three different domains of chemistry. One of them is the macroscopic world, which is the world most of us live in, and most people always just consider just the things are things, right? Like plastic is plastic, and the table is made of wood. But what really is wood? That's what chemists like to think. So that brings us to the second level, which is the microscopic domain of chemistry. Also in your book, it's referred to as the particulate domain of chemistry, but that now is looking at the structures of the molecules and the compounds that make up those bigger things. So that wooden table, right, you'd actually be looking at the structures of cellulose, which is the structural component of wood that makes wood so tough and hard. Lastly, the third domain of chemistry would be the symbolic domain. So cellulose, if we're thinking about this whole wooden table kind of three domains, cellulose is made up of glucose molecules linked together. So it's a polymer of glucose. So in the symbolic domain, we would represent the molecular formulas of the compounds that make up the cellulose. So you would just say, C6H12O6, and maybe put that in parentheses with the number N, and the N indicates that it's a polymer. So there's many of them. So that's like the three domains of chemistry, and really a whole goal of chemistry class is to try to get you out of the macroscopic world and thinking more about the symbolic and the microscopic world. So what are the structures of these compounds look like? How are those atoms bound and held together? And then what are those molecular formulas? How would we write that symbolically? So for this artistic assignment, this is the very first one right here. It's about the three domains of chemistry. Okay, so I want for you to design on paper, so you could draw it, or you could do a collage, cut up magazines or different things, mail, whatever you have. So you could draw it on paper, or you can make it in silico. In silico just means on the computer. So if you have like PowerPoint or Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or anything like that, right? An online writing drawing tool. Even if you had like a notepad, you want to draw it and save it as a PDF, right? So you can make it either on paper or in silico. A visual aid that shows the three domains of chemistry. So again, that's going to be the symbolic domain, so looking at the molecular formulas, the microscopic or particulate domain, so that's looking at the chemical structures of those compounds, and the macroscopic is the more of like the world we see, right? And I would like for you to also, so essentially you're going to pick one of these things to draw your three domains of chemistry about. You can make one of these graphics to show the composition of the inhaled air. You could make one of these graphics to show the composition of exhaled air. You can do it solely on carbon monoxide. So you're just showing carbon monoxide, like the three different domains of carbon monoxide. And you get creative with your figures, with your macroscopic domain, because for most of these gases, carbon monoxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen monoxide, and radon, most of them are odorless and colorless. So, the what we might see, would just be like nothing. But I want you to get creative with the macroscopic domain. So like for radon, people have to install radon vents in their home. So maybe you put a picture of the vent and you label it like radon vent. A couple of those are colored gases, so you could find that. You could go find the picture of the Toyota plant with that purple, the like brown haze, and tell me about that gas that was made there. So just try to get creative. With your macroscopic picture. Microscopic, drawing the structure of some of the compounds would be easy, especially after today's lecture. And then the symbolic should also be easy because you can just write what the different chemical formulas are. So in addition to doing a graphic about the three different domains of chemistry, so finding pictures and illustrating the macroscopic, microscopic, and symbolic domains, I also want you to include three facts of some sort about those chemical compounds. It could be about how harmful they are. It could be maybe how they're made. As an air pollutant, right? Your book is going to be filled with all kinds of different information and facts you could use. You can also search online, but I'd say start in your book. Lastly, I have an example graphic. Here's an example. This example is taken out of the OpenStax textbook. It's a free chemistry, really just free online books for different disciplines. It's too in depth for this class, which is why we're not using it. But this is one of the examples from their books, from that book about the 3 domains of chemistry. So here we see this is the macroscopic world, right, that we're living in. So this shows us what do we see? And then here is an example of the microscopic world that we're living in. Oh, let me get my laser pointer. I'm not sure if my okay, so this is the macroscopic world. This would be our microscopic world. So now we're looking at the chemical structures, and feel free in yours to draw out the chemical structures, like the Lewis dot structures, how we were doing in class today. And then this is our symbolic world. So it's showing us the symbolism here. So this image shows the 3 domains of chemistry, and it also is talking about the 3 different phases of matter and looking at water in particular. So here's water as a gas. So that's in the air, that we breathe. Here's water as a solid. So this is the structure of solid water. It makes these kind of 6-membered rings, and that would be the iceberg. And then lastly, here's water as a liquid, and that's what water molecules as a liquid look like. And it kind of, obviously is pointing to like the ocean or the sea that this iceberg is sitting in. So again, just get really creative. I want to see what you can bring to the table creativity wise. I really like artsy things and fun things. So please have fun with it. It's supposed to be a fun assessment. All right. And feel free to email me in Canvas if you have any questions. I'm happy to help direct you, if as best I can.